Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Theos here, and happy Easter to you all. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a great Easter so far. For me, it's good but not great so far. I mean, haven't really gone out yet, but don't worry, I definitely will later, I guess. But yeah, one of the things I did for Easter so far is I hate watched Hop, and yeah, so now after hate watching this movie, I think it's about time for me to do a rant on it. Just for the just because I need content on Easter, and I think this is like literally one of the only Easter movies, like legit Easter movies, and that kind of sucks, man. So yeah, Hop is the second movie from Illumination, and came out in the year 2011, and is directed by Tim Hill, the same guy who directed Sponge on Water. For some reason, just now before recording this, I just realized that this guy directed the second Sponge movie, Sponge Out of Water. I wonder how people felt about that at the time because I don't really read stuff online unless if it's just Rotten Tomatoes scores. So I wonder how people felt before going to it about getting the director of Hop to direct Sponge Out of Water. So, yeah. And it stars Russell Brand, Jace Marsden, Hank Azarnia, Hugh Laurie, and David Hasselhoff. Basically, the ones that I know of the cast. And now the plot. So basically, it tells the story of Evie, who is the Easter Bunny's son. He's a teenager, and he's about to take over the business as co-assistant, or maybe even like the legit Easter Bunny. But Evie doesn't want to do it because he wants to be a drummer, and so he runs away and goes to Hollywood to become a drummer, and then he runs into James Marsden's character who's literally who has the same problem as Evie, where his dreams are being neglected by his parents, who want to take control of his life, basically. So Evie and James Marsden meet up and they become friends, and and then Evie like audition for David Hasselhoff, and then Easter Bunny father sends pink berets to bring Evie back, and then and then Chick guy becomes a villain for no reason, even though he's been innocent throughout. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, yeah. I think you can see where I'm going, like where I'm coming from when it comes to this plot. So yeah, Hog is the most hated Illumination movie, and I personally hate Illumination with a great passion. I actually saw the Super Mario Bros. Movie yesterday, but I won't review it in a while due to personal reasons. Also, I didn't really watch it in theaters, saw it online. Because I don't want to explain it again, I'm tired of explaining it. I explained it in my community post, and I'll be reviewing it on like April 2022, I think, after I see it in theaters, because I just probably it's better. But I'm so yeah. So leading up to the Super Mario Bros. Movie, for my theatrical watch, it comes on April 19th, by the way. Yes, 2 weeks late from everyone else. I don't know why, but yeah. I'll be reviewing every single Illumination movie, pretty much the ones I have not reviewed yet, from Despicable Me 1 to Secret Life of Pets 2. I already reviewed Sing 2 and Mia Go. Oh, sorry, I meant to rant on them. So I won't be doing rant on them because I don't want to. But I have not reviewed a single Illumination movie from the 2010s decade, so I'll be mostly tackling that. So, but I decided to do one of my Illumination reviews, or should I say rant, in advance since today's Easter, and yeah. Um, so yeah, people, I'm now here today to talk about the most hated Illumination movie. It's kind of separated from the other Illumination movies, like the fully animated movies, because yeah, this movie was so hated, so panned that it made Illumination stop doing live action hybrid movies and stick to just fully animated. And yeah, and so yeah, I think it'll be interesting to have for this to be the first one. But yeah, don't worry. I'll talk about the other ones. Yeah. So yeah. Now let me ask you. Now let me like. So let me ask you. Do I think this movie deserves all the hate it gets? Do I think it's the worst Illumination movie? Um, yes and no at the same time, because when it comes to this movie getting massively panned and hated, it is well deserved, because yeah, this movie is just a disaster. In fact, I would go as far as calling this the worst movie of 2011. Yep, this is the worst movie 2011. It is worse than Jack and Jill. Yep, there I said it. I mean, sure, as horrible as Jack and Jill is, yeah, it's the worst Adam Sandler movie in my opinion. At least Jack and Jill had one scene that I kind of laughed at. It was like, it was kind of hilarious. It's basically the when Al Pacino was singing, Don Pacino at the end of the movie. That was hilarious. And I did laugh at how bad the movie was, but so yeah, I would rather like sit through that movie. I think that movie is far more tolerable than that millisecond of Hop. Although I don't agree with people saying this is the worst Illumination movie, I still think Sing 2 is the worst Illumination movie. I guess I don't know if where this will rank, but I mean, I still need to rewatch the Illumination movies. Like, I think the contenders for the top spot, the top for the worst Illumination movie besides Sing 2 are Minions, Despicable Me 3, the first Sing. Like, yeah, they're all the contenders, but Hawk is no question in my top five worst Illumination movies of all time because good God, yeah, this movie is yeah unbearable. Like now, where do I even start with this? Yeah, first of all, I know some people who say that this movie is the worst mainly because of how it's a live action movie and everything else is animation, and that it's so different. It's better for Illumination plus it's safe and kid friendly. Well, hear me out, people. Hop is, I mean, honestly, I don't like the argument made that people say, oh, it's the worst one because it's not animated and I mean, and everything else in the catalog is animated. I don't like to hear that excuse, but that doesn't mean, I mean, but I'm not excusing Hop for making a good movie. I mean, literally the Smurfs came out in that same year, and that movie was a horrifying train wreck, and probably my second worst Sony movie of all time behind the Emoji movie. Oh wait, no, third. I mean, there was also Hotel Transylvania 4. Yeah, but yeah, Hop like and live action animation hybrids nowadays have just become like really bad. They're all just I mean, even if they're live action, there's still pathetic excuses for babysitting movies. Like literally, this is one of those movies where parents would take their kids to watch and then just get tortured by it. Like literally, that's pretty much parents' complaint nowadays. Is that literally filmmakers who make children's movies literally have no care for parents who literally want something good out of it. But now, no, wait, no, they only care about the children and they want the adults to be tortured. And like, why are we even taking your kids to watch it? This is so bad. This is not even made for us. Yeah, that's. I mean, I can see why people get annoyed with like some people like call it saying animation just for kids, but it's technically the filmmaker's fault for making the parents feel that way. But yeah, Hop is literally a movie aimed for the lowest demographic. Pretty much just like half of like most of Illumination's catalog. This movie feels like it's aimed for 3-year-olds and no one older than that. Yeah, that is like there is literally not a single thing that even from an adult's point of view, I'm 19 years old and I can't really seem to like see anything in this movie that people my age or older will like, cause and yeah but yeah, that is one of the least of its problems because even on its own, I know if you're not looking at this as just a generic kids movie, there is so much pain to be seen in this. Yeah, where do I even start with this? First of all, this plot is all over the place and it goes nowhere. Like, what's bad when I can't even properly summarize the plot? That's because the plot is just too convoluted. I mean, is anyone even gonna get the story? I mean, like there's just so much thing going on. I mean, it's such a simple premise of an Easter bunny who wants to go his own direction and but he's being controlled by his parents. I mean, they're going with the no, it's my life and you can't control a message. But I mean, the plot is literally going nowhere because there's like way too many things happening and it's just a bunch of shenanigans. Yeah, it's so obvious that this movie is only made to babysit the kids. I mean, plus even this idea is horrendous. I mean, this feels like a kind of idea that this feels like a first draft of a script. Yeah, that's the best way to summarize this. It's literally the first draft of a script, and e- and I'm already lost because you know what, that's the thing. There's so much of process here, so much bad stuff to process here that I don't even know where to go anymore. Because pretty much this every all my negatives with this movie are absolutely endless. Yeah, the plot goes nowhere, so much shenanigans, and yeah, but again, even as a first draft, even the concept of this idea, I mean, this movie just should have never been made because, I mean, you could tell that the writers had no idea what they're doing. They just wanted to make a movie just for the sake of making a movie, and and yeah, I don't know what. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm lost. But yeah, they don't know what you're doing. See, that's the reaction. No, usually, yes, I do have this tendency of getting lost with what I'm trying to say, but this one, I mean, and then I would just stop the recording and do another recording and stuff, like continue it. But this one, I'm not gonna stop it like stop myself from stuttering, getting lost because I'm just because this is to show you guys how much there's so much negativity and there's so much endless negatives. I mean, if I literally wrote a list of negatives like with bullet points, it will like lead to 100 bullet points of sheer negativity that this movie has to offer. But yeah, that's yeah, this movie's dumb. But because here's the thing, like I think the third act is literally what solidifies that this movie as being dumb and showing that the writers have no idea. Yeah, I'll get to the third act already. So basically, Evie's father said that only Easter bunnies can be able to take over the business to lead the Easter egg business, and the chicks are sidelined. And then Carlos, the chicks are pretty much like the reindeers. Yeah, here's the thing. Yeah, this movie portrays Easter as Christmas. Like they portray Easter bunnies as Santa Claus and the chicks as reindeers. But I don't know if you, oh, but isn't Easter like Christmas? Well, you can say that. I mean, it isn't Jesus centered holiday, I guess. But I don't talk religion in my channel personally. I don't. Religion is something I want to cover, so let's get that out of the way. But yeah, this doesn't make sense. But I mean, it's like saying it's like you're making a Christmas movie, and then a reindeer says, "Hey, I want to be the new Santa Claus." I mean, that's just dumb. First of all, like, how would a chick take over Easter? And literally, here's the thing. When that chick, okay, I just said his name, and yet I already forgot like what his name is, and I don't care. I want to Google it up, but yeah, evil chick, like the assistant of this business wants to take over because he's tired of being number two and he wants to lead. And then literally for the first two acts of the movie, he does nothing wrong. Like he just he's just a little like sad that he doesn't get to be the leader, but he's a harmless character. But in the third act, out of nowhere, he literally turns into the villain, saying, "Oh, you know what? I have done this. I'm the villain now." Like, you know, you know in Frozen 2 how Olaf in that part where Olaf's telling a story, he like he's like he pushes his hands and then he's like the nicest guy ever, and then Olaf's pushing his hands like, "Oh hey, you know what? I'm a good guy, but now I'm gonna be a bad guy for no reason." Yeah, that is literally that chick in a nutshell. That is like the best way to describe him. I mean, because how Easter, the Easter Bunny father doesn't want chicks to be the villain. So chick guy becomes evil and takes over chick, and literally becomes a rabbit, which looks horrifying and looks disgusting, by the way. Um, but here's the thing. I mean, he does have a point that only bunnies can be the leader the like but here's the main problem. Here's where it draws the line. He let a human with literally an average human being who literally couldn't even get qualified for any jobs, live like messes with people's lives, and all the only thing he had in his mind, like the only piece of development that he had is that he wanted to be the Easter Bunny as a kid. He literally accepts James Marsden to be the Easter Bunny. I'm sorry, but that is completely hypocritical. You don't want a chick to be the Easter Bunny, yet you want a human to do. Like when he hasn't published anything, he hasn't even like that makes zero sense. Like this movie literally makes no sense. This is one of the worst written movies I have ever seen in my entire life. Period. And yeah, talking about disgusting design of chick guy becoming a villain, becoming like an Easter, like the animation is disgusting. I mean, literally, usually when it comes to these live action animation hybrids, you gotta make the animated characters literally feel believable, feel like the humans actually interacting with them. Like take Who Framed Roger Rabbit for example, and the first Space Jam. I mean, they do it really well where you believe that the human is actually interacting with the animated characters. But in this movie, it looks like these characters look like cardboards. Like cardboard. So like you can easily tell that James Marsden is just talking to no one. Like it's so convincing that he's just talking to himself because that's how fake the visuals look. And yeah, it looks really bad. But I would say that this isn't the worst looking nomination movies. But definitely one of them because it came out in the early 2000s, so yeah, it's outdated. It's just really outdated. But now let's get into the characters. Yeah, I hate every single character. There's not a single character in this movie that I like or even like no one has a redeeming quality. There's barely any character development. Every single characters are either one dimensional, thinly written, or annoying, or just simply unlikable, or all of them at once. Basically, for like the more major characters. I already talked about Chick Guy. Easter Bunny Dad is a hypocrite and completely selfish, but let's talk about the others. EB is one of the worst movie protagonists I have ever seen. As much as I hate that Peter Rabbit, no, like the character, not the movie. As much as I hate Peter Rabbit, he's a lot likable in comparison to EB. Literally, EB is just so mean spirited. He seems to only care about himself. Like he attempts to be friends with James Marsden, but apparently he's just using James Marsden to get what he wants because he only cares about himself. He doesn't care about anyone else. James Marsden is a boring human character. This is his worst performance ever. If you want to see a better James Marsden performance, just watch him in the Enchanted Duology. That is his best performance in my opinion. And he was great at Sonic too as well. Like probably the standard of the human. He was the standard of the human characters. Well, besides Sonic, Dr. Robotnik and Tails, yeah. James Marsden was one of the standouts in the Sonic movies. But here he's boring because I think he looks like he doesn't really he looks like he doesn't want to be invested in doing this. Because he seems like he doesn't really care. And literally the way his character is written is so generic. It's like literally the definition of cliche, and I mean the bad cliche. Basically he those characters where so something weird will come up to him and then he wants he doesn't want anyone close to him, no, so he tries to hide that weird thing, whatever. Yeah, they use that cliche in this movie, and man, they do it the worst. Yeah, and yeah, his family is also really unlikable too. I completely forgot about them, and David Hasselhoff is so butchered in this movie. Remember the scene in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie where his body gets fried by an explosion down in Bikini Bottom? I bet his brain got fried so much that he turned into dumb, into someone stupid in this movie. There's a scene where EB asks David Hasselhoff, hey, I forgot what he asked. Like, oh yeah, aren't you not surprised now about talking buddy? David Hasselhoff was like, hey, I have my best friend's a talking car. Like, bro, like you're honestly just pretending not to be surprised. A bit what? Oh, and then and then later on, he literally asked David Hasselhoff for advice. Like he treats David Hasselhoff like his psychologist. Like, really? Like, oh, like so many dumb things in here. Like, and also yes, every single scene in this movie, I mean, really pissed me off, especially when it comes to Evie trying to like mess with James Marsden's life. Literally, he was the reason why James Marsden like didn't get accepted to his new job, all because Evie's trying to mess with him. Like he literally got his sisters calling at him. And by the way, that sister is so annoying. I couldn't stand her, and but now, yeah, as bad as those scenes are, like every single scene are, the worst scene in the movie, in my opinion, is the scene with the James Marsden's little sisters play. Oh my goodness, that scene pissed me off. Like, well, first of all, literally the little girl, James Marsden's sisters singing, like, oh my goodness, like, that is probably the worst singing voice I have ever heard. And usually, no offense to men, but girls are usually better singers than men. But this one just, oh, like even Justin Bieber's, no, wait, even Jake Paul has a better singing voice than that girl, like the girl in the Easter Bunny costume, like, and then it gets worse from there. Evie like gets on stage, interrupts it, and sings "I Want Candy," which is pretty much which is a real song that plays in the credits. Like, oh my goodness, oh, like that is like who wrote "I Want Candy"? Like even a 5-year-old would write a better song than that. Oh, so yeah, you know what? I had enough talking about this movie, like talking about like all the endless negatives that went with it. So yeah, overall, Hop is an abomination. So the reason why I don't think this is the worst Illumination movie is because at least this kind of movie won't be repeated again. Unlike something like the Despicable Me franchise where like it would just keep where these minions will keep going on and on and on and on up to the point where it really annoys you. Like now they're making a Despicable Me 4. Like how can Illumination ever let go of the minions? And don't tell me they're gonna make a Minions 3. And don't get me started on the same franchise. Like at least even Hop Illumination can completely forget that they even made this one. They threw this idea in the trash can right after it came out. How Andy like in Toy Story 2 how Andy would throw Woody in a garbage bin like in Woody's Nightmare. That scene, yeah, that's pretty much Illuminations how they treat Hop. And yeah, but that doesn't excuse the fact that Hop is just an abomination. It is annoying. It has no consistency with the story, and I hate every single millisecond. There's literally not a single scene I like about this. Yeah, this is Illumination's first bad movie, and literally just a hint of what's to come with this studio. So yeah, this is the worst movie 2011. Yeah, Hugo and Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2 are a million times better than this. Heck, I'd even rather watch Cars 2 any day than ever watch this diary of a film ever again. So with that said, I'm gonna give Hop a 1 out of 10. Whew. Thank God this nightmare is over. So yeah, that's all for my ranted Hop. What is your opinion of this movie? I'm sure we can all agree that this movie sucks. Even Illumination fans admit that this movie sucks. Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review of the rest of the Illumination movies leading up to the Super Mario Bros. Movie with Despicable Me 1. So yeah, bye guys.